All right, offensive players of the week, mate. Who are you going with here?
Right, bronze medal this week. Your man Deshaun Watson put on an absolute clinic. It was against the Lions, but his stats were just insane. 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown, I believe. Fuller and Cooks balled out, but yeah, put on a clinic.
The boys.
Should I go? Are we going rotating or?
Oh yeah, right. That's great ingenuity from you. My bronze medal, I've given it to Antonio Gibson of the Washington football team. He went 136 yards from scrimmage against Dallas on Thanksgiving, but more importantly, had 3 touchdowns. And he was the main. Last time they dominated the Cowboys on the ground, it was more of a team effort from Barber, McKissick, and him. And this time he took over and announced himself on the national stage, which Washington aren't often able to do. So he is my bronze medalist.
Congrats, Antonio. He narrowly missed out for me. He was one of 2 honourable mentions. Silver medal, Derrick Henry. I think
he's my silver medalist.
We'll have the same silver and gold. But yeah, absolutely tore up the Colts, who are meant to be one of the best run defenses in the league. I think they've been a bit off recently, but that's probably because they've played Henry twice in the last 3 weeks. But yeah, 170 yards, 3 touchdowns. Can't really ask for much more.
Yeah, he's an absolute mad dog. And then obviously the gold medalist, Tyreek Hill, one of the best games I've seen. One of the best games I've ever seen in my recent history as an NFL fan. 269 yards from scrimmage, 3 touchdowns. I think he had over 200 yards in the first quarter.
And 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I turned it on because I had my exam at 10 a.m. Australian time. I turned it on at 8:30. It was quarter time, and I didn't know the stats or anything. And they just go through his highlights, and there's just one massive bomb, and I'm like, okay. And there's another, and I'm like, actually, he's had a pretty good quarter here. And there was 3 more. I was like, what the hell has happened here? And then they showed his stat line, and I was just like, fair enough.
He was on 40 fantasy points at quarter time.
Yeah,
could not believe it.
It just shows that speed in sport, not even just NFL, speed in sport is the most overpowered thing. Because he's obviously a very skillful bloke if he's dominating at the NFL level, but you honestly cannot guard him. And I think the Bucs secondary has been showing up a few times this year. It's looking a little bit shaky every now and then, but not good from them.
They got wrecked by the Rams wideouts last week as well.
Yeah, so their corners who came out of the gates of the season flying have kind of slowed down a bit, but fair enough when you've got a bloke who's that as fast as Tyreek Hill. Honourable mentions, obviously Deshaun Watson, you had him as your bronze medalist, don't need to talk about him. Nick Chubb also had a pretty good game against the Jags. Latavius Murray, he's kind of taken over in terms of the ground game over Alvin Kamara, which is interesting. And then obviously don't really want to get around him this week, but just statistically, Will Fuller also had a good game. But we all know why he played well. Offensive rookie of the week, obviously mine kind of gave it away, given the fact that I gave him the bronze medal, but Antonio Gibson. I actually always forget he's a rookie, to be honest, but same with James Robinson. I always just forget they're rookies, but yeah.
He was my offensive in college.
Good. Well, it's not like I watch college football yet, but yeah, they weren't high picks. But yeah, he was my offensive rookie of the week. Don't really need to go through why I've already mentioned. Is he your offensive rookie of the week? Or?
No, I've actually snubbed him. There's 2 other men, Justin Jefferson.
Oh yeah, Justin Jefferson.
Great game. Snubbed him as well though. Gave it to my boy James Robinson.
Oh, you are that biased to your fantasy players. It's a joke.
Here's the thing though, mate. Got to take into account opposition and match impact. Gibbo's 2 touchdowns were right at the end, junk time. Robinson played the Browns.
He played in a loss,
but I don't think he's ever played in a win, except for week 1 against Indy. But Brown's very good run defense, and he tore them to shreds, 130 yards and a touchdown. So I will admit it's biased though, because he's on my fantasy team.
Again, so Gibson was my man. Honorable mentions, as you mentioned, Justin Jefferson had a great game against the Panthers with Thielen missing. Robinson, as you awarded just then, had a pretty good one. And then Cam Akers and Colin Johnson both had semi-breakout games, respectively.
Who's
So
Colin Johnson?
he's a Jags receiver.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he caught like an 80-yard touchdown or something like that. But yeah, not 100% sure. Don't know too much about him. And then defensive player of the week, I'll just quickly go through who I've got here. Like bit of a dog act, just going for the bloke who scored points on defense, because that's not really what they're there for. But hard to ignore the fact that he had 2 fumble return touchdowns in the space of 5 seconds.
Insane.
It is Jeremy Chin, the rookie safety from the Panthers. He forced one of them himself. The other one he picked up in like a pack. He also had 13 tackles, 1 quarterback hit, and was almost a huge reason why the Panthers snuck a cheeky victory over the Vikings. They just missed out, sadly, but he gave it his best shot, scoring over half their points. So, fair play, Mr. Chin. All right,
It's a miracle! Oh, yeah! What about that one? Unbelievable! Balotelli, Aguero! Crowd cheers. Here's Siddle.